Under the blazing sun, Persian streets burst with life. Merchants shout, their voices rising above the din of bartering and trade. Jewish figures blend seamlessly into the vibrant tapestry of Persian society, their presence a quiet thread in a colorful cloth. Mordecai observes the bustling scene, his gaze sharp and searching. A subtle unease darkens his eyes. He stands as a solitary figure amidst the crowd, a silent question hanging in the air as he watches the lively streets. Sunlight floods the throne room, illuminating the Persian king Xerxes on his ornate throne, his gaze sweeping over his assembled advisors. Tension fills the opulent chamber as news of Queen Vashti's defiance reaches the king. The king's expression darkens with fury, his eyes blazing with royal anger. Queen Vashti's refusal to obey King Xerxes' command has ignited a firestorm of royal anger. In his rage, King Xerxes decrees her banishment and vows to find a new queen worthy of his throne. Sunlight paints the room as Esther, an orphan, listens to her cousin Mordecai, her expression thoughtful in her modest home. Mordecai leans in, urgency etched on his face as he speaks to Esther. The king seeks a new queen, Mordecai says, his voice laced with caution. If you are chosen, you must conceal your Jewish identity, he warns, the stakes clear. Esther enters the opulent women's quarters, surrounded by a flurry of young women, a sea of silk and anticipation. Attendants guide them, their practiced hands initiating the elaborate rituals of beauty and preparation. Esther observes the bustling scene, her eyes wide with a mix of awe and trepidation, a lamb among peacocks. Amidst the extravagance, Esther maintains a humble demeanor, a quiet strength radiating from within. Inside King Xerxes' chambers, anticipation hangs heavy as he prepares to meet the women. One by one, they enter, each hoping to capture the king's favor. Xerxes' eyes widen as Esther steps into the chamber, her presence immediately commanding attention. He is utterly captivated by Esther's beauty, her grace, a stark contrast to others. Esther remains composed, her gaze steady, radiating respect and strength. The air thickens with unspoken emotions as their eyes lock, sealing a silent promise. In the palace throne room, Esther stands radiant, a crown of Persian gold adorning her head, her eyes reflecting triumph. The court erupts in thunderous cheers, a symphony of pure elation resonating through the vast throne room. Sunlight streams through the grand windows, illuminating the vibrant tapestries and ornate decorations. Mordecai watches from the edge, his face unreadable amidst the frenzy, the weight of secrets etched deep. His eyes, pools of wisdom and worry, betray the burdens he carries in the shadows of Esther's glory. The coronation marks a pivotal moment, a collision of fate and hidden truths under the gilded dome. Under the relentless sun, Mordecai lurks near the palace gates, a shadow among the towering pillars. He strains to catch snippets of hushed voices, his brow furrowed with growing unease. Mordecai's eyes widen in alarm as he overhears a treacherous plot against King Xerxes. Inside the palace, Esther urgently recounts the grave news to King Xerxes, her voice filled with concern. "There are 2 servants in your court plotting to kill you," she recounts. Xerxes listens intently, his expression hardening as Esther relays Mordecai's warning. Xerxes nods solemnly, acknowledging the weight of the threat and Mordecai's unwavering loyalty. "Thank you for saving my life. My eunuchs, Bigthan and Teresh, were plotting my assassination." Haman, the king's chief minister, draped in opulent robes, marches through the vibrant city streets, a storm brewing behind his eyes. His face twists with fury as he spots Mordecai near the gate, refusing to bow to him. Haman clenches his fists, his eyes burning with vengeful intent, a silent vow of retribution forming. "I will get you and your people too," he says out loud. He vows to punish not just Mordecai, but every Jewish person in the kingdom for this perceived insolence. Sunlight paints the court as Haman bows before King Xerxes. A royal decree he created awaits the king, heavy with consequence. Your Majesty, their Jewish laws defy yours. Haman purrs, his words a venomous whisper in the grand hall. If it pleases the king, make a decree be issued to destroy them, and I will carry it out, he continues, offering wealth for destruction. King Xerxes, with a gesture, seals their fate. Their silver is yours, and the people as well. Do with them as you please. Haman's eyes gleam with dark ambition as he seizes the king's ring with the royal seal, his victory palpable. The king's ring presses firmly, sealing the decree. The fate of the Jews is now sealed in wax and blood. The royal decree reverberates through the city streets, each word striking the Jewish people like a physical blow. Panic surges as joyous markets transform into scenes of despair, the rustling of parchment accompanying muffled cries. Amidst the chaos, Mordecai tears his clothes, a stark symbol of mourning against the bustling backdrop. He covers himself in sackcloth and ashes, a solitary figure of grief in the now desolate city. Sadness, death, and despair run through the streets. Sunlight floods Esther's opulent chambers, illuminating the gravity of the moment as she sits motionless. At the palace gates, Mordecai, cloaked in shadows, pens a desperate message, his face a mask of deep concern. He pleads with Esther to speak to the king and let him know Haman's plot. He entrusts the sealed plea to a swift messenger, a silent prayer for Esther echoing in the palace's gilded halls. In her trembling hands, she clutches the letter, the weight of its words pressing heavily on her heart. Her brow furrows, a silent battle raging within as she confronts the impossible choice before her. Mordecai asks her to reveal her Jewish identity to the king and beg for mercy for her people. The suffocating burden of her concealed Jewish identity clashes sharply with the grandeur of her royal existence. Mordecai waits alone with his heavy thoughts and the weight of destiny. I hope Esther doesn't let me or her people down, he thought. His voice, a low murmur, hangs in the air. She may have been placed in her royal position for such a time as this. In the quiet of night, Esther kneels, her silhouette framed by the flickering candlelight. The soft glow dances across her face, highlighting the deep lines of worry etched upon her brow. Her hands clasped tightly, she seeks guidance in the silent chamber. A profound realization dawns, her eyes widening with determination. The weight of her decision settles upon her, a heavy burden of responsibility. She must risk everything to save her people, her resolve hardening with each breath. Esther, radiant in royal robes, steps into the palace courtyard, her heart pounding with each step towards the king's inner court. Unsummoned to see the king, she risks everything, aware that her life hangs in the balance with every stolen breath. The king's gaze pierces through her, an unreadable mask concealing his thoughts as he observes her daring approach. A moment of breathless tension breaks as the king extends his scepter, a gesture of mercy that could change everything. Sunlight floods King Xerxes' opulent throne room, illuminating gold and rich fabrics. Esther stands poised before the king. Her voice rings clear. Your Majesty, I am honored to be granted this audience. A hopeful invitation extends from her lips. I have prepared a banquet, she continues, her eyes sparkling with anticipation, and would be most pleased if you and Haman would join me. The throne room awaits the king's decision, the air thick with unspoken expectations. The king finally agrees. Yes, everyone loves a party, he exclaimed. Esther throws a great party using it as a strategic trap, using flattery and suspense to gain the king's favor and expose Haman's plan. King Xerxes laughs, jovial and oblivious, while Haman radiates self-importance. Esther surveys the scene, her gaze carefully masking the turmoil and resolve within. Every detail, every gesture, is part of the drama she meticulously orchestrates. The fate of her people hangs in the balance, hidden beneath a veneer of regal composure. The next night, candelabras flicker next to Haman's opulent room in his mansion, casting dancing shadows on rich tapestries as he enjoys his grand plan. Haman, in resplendent robes, gestures grandly, his voice booming with self-importance. He recounts tales of influence with the king and queen, basking in the fawning adoration of his friends. A self-satisfied smirk plays on his lips, momentarily masking a simmering rage. The mere memory of Mordecai and his people's defiance darkens Haman's face, his eyes flashing with anger. Haman's fists clench subtly, a hint of the storm brewing beneath his polished facade. Under the veil of night, Haman's gaze sweeps over his estate, his face a chilling tableau of dark resolve. Haman's sharp orders cut through the night as he gestures, his commands setting his servants into frantic motion. Flickering torchlight dances across the grim scene as a crude gallows rises ominously against the dark sky. A cruel satisfaction twists Haman's lips as he anticipates the dawn, the gallows a testament to his dark ambition. In opulent chambers, King Xerxes rises in his bed, a prisoner of insomnia. "What have I done?" he yells out. Moonlight spills through sheer curtains, casting an ethereal glow upon the restless king. Xerxes' hand rises, a silent command in the stillness of the night, calling out for help. A servant rushes to his side, anticipating the king's commands. "Bring me the royal records. I cannot sleep," Xerxes commands, his voice echoing in the vast chamber. The weight of a kingdom settles upon Xerxes as he seeks solace in earlier decrees. That's when he realizes Mordecai was never compensated for his loyalty. Sunlight floods King Xerxes' opulent chambers as he sits on his throne, lost in thought. Haman stands before the king, anticipation etched on his face, awaiting the royal command. "I have changed my mind. You must honor Mordecai the Jew by parading him on horseback through the streets." Haman, his face a mask of fury, clutches the reins of the king's horse, each step a blow to his towering pride. Mordecai sits tall and regal, an island of serenity amidst Haman's simmering rage. The bustling city falls silent, the crowd's hushed whispers a stark symphony to Haman's humiliation. "Make way for Mordecai, the man whom the king delights to honor," Haman shouts, his voice dripping with forced enthusiasm. The sun beats down on Haman's bowed head, each ray a burning reminder of his utter defeat. Mordecai's gaze sweeps over the crowd, a silent acknowledgement of a victory hard won, a future uncertain. In the opulent banquet hall, Esther stands before King Xerxes, the air thick with unspoken tension. Esther pleads, "My king, let my life be given me, and my people at my request, as I am also a Jewish woman who is now your wife." King Xerxes rises, a thunderous question erupting. Who is he that would presume to do so after I told him I changed my mind? With unwavering resolve, Esther declares, "The adversary and enemy is this wicked Haman." In the throne room, King Xerxes erupts from his throne, his face twisted with fury. His voice booms, echoing through the hall as he levels a trembling finger at Haman. "Haman, your treachery is revealed," Xerxes bellows, his rage palpable. "You shall be hanged on the very gallows you prepared for Mordecai." The words hang in the air, sealing Haman's fate in the heart of the palace. A proclamation on the city walls draws the gaze of the Jewish people, their faces etched with years of hardship and uncertainty. The king allowed the Jewish people to defend themselves. A collective gasp ripples through the crowd as the decree's meaning dawns. Permission to defend themselves. Jubilation erupts, hope igniting in their eyes, transforming despair into fierce determination. The city echoes with the sounds of preparation hammering, sharpening, and fervent prayers, a symphony of newfound resolve. On the battlefield, Jewish warriors clash against a relentless enemy, their faces set with grim resolve and unwavering hope. The tide turns, and with a final surge, The Jewish fighters break the enemy lines, their courage turning the tide of battle. Victorious, the Jewish banners are raised high, a symbol of defiance and triumph against impossible odds. Mordecai, draped in royal robes, is lifted in honor, a testament to his wisdom and bravery in the face of adversity. Esther, hailed as a hero, stands radiant amidst the jubilant crowd, her name echoing as a symbol of salvation.